Have I got news for you? The one with Des Lynam in the hot seat and Robert Kilroy-Silk on the panel in half an hour. First on BBC Two, the pros face a grilling from JP.
University Challenge, the professionals. Asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello, welcome to another first round match in which the desks normally reserved for the UK's brightest students have been taken by two teams prepared to show us that a little older is a lot wiser. At least we hope so. It was Joe Orton who said that reading wasn't encouraged among police officers who try to keep their paperwork to a minimum. Unrecognisable, really. The training division of the Metropolitan Police Service will doubtless demonstrate that their skills include imparting an astonishing range of general knowledge to today's police officers.
Dismiss!
The Peel Centre was opened by the Queen when she unveiled the statue in May 1974. It is the largest training site for police officers anywhere in the country, and it only trains for Metropolitan police officers. I think our jobs within the police help us because we're used to dealing with pressure situations. You've only got to watch court appearances and police officers in court to see them answering questions, sometimes very tough indeed. Paul's strengths are along the lines of art, particularly painting and history. John's our expert on sport, politics and history to a certain degree. Louise's strengths are popular culture and sport, surprisingly enough. My strengths run along the lines of natural history, intellectual property law and cookery. I love my cookery. Jeremy's questioning technique is certainly very interesting, and it's a delight to see, but I think we will cope fairly well with it because of our experiences in court.
Break!
He's a different kettle of fish to the usual questioner, not wearing a wig, for instance.
And let's ask the team to introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Paul Hughes and I'm a Detective Sergeant.
Hello, I'm John Moran and I'm an Inspector.
And their captain?
Hello. My name's Richard Farmery and I'm a Police Sergeant.
Hello, I'm Louise McCarron and I'm a Police Constable.
Now, their opponents represent a long-established publication which originally described itself as a journal for gentlewomen. Its contributors have included Lewis Carroll and Stella Gibbons, who worked for it while writing Cold Comfort Farm, although I can't help feeling that no article in the magazine has the readership quite of its classified column where you can hire anything from a nanny to a butler. Let's meet the team, one of whom clearly isn't a lady.
The Lady magazine was founded by Thomas Gibson Bowles in 1885, and it's been produced from this very building since 1891. We're the oldest English women's weekly magazine. We cover a range of subjects: beauty and cookery, antiques features. We have lots of interviews. We don't do sex, religion, politics, scandal, nasty gossip. I describe myself as a harmless journalist, which some people would say is a contradiction in terms. Vanessa Berridge, she's terribly knowledgeable about gardens and English literature. I think she's really looking forward to being on the programme because she's been watching it for over 30 years. Beverly Byrne knows a great deal about film, and she started writing for us, and she's gone on from there. Ron Toft is also a photographer, so when he sends in his features, we also have the pictures. He's very good on natural history, science and geography. Well, I hope Mr. Paxman's not going to be rude, because we take a very dim view of bad behaviour at the Lady. Well, I might have to tell him off.
We hope it won't come to that. Let's say hello to the team from The Lady.
Hello, I'm Beverly Byrne. I'm a freelance journalist specialising in celebrity interviews and travel.
Hello, I'm Ron Toft, a freelance journalist and photographer writing for The Lady and a variety of other publications.
And their captain?
Hello, I'm Lindsay Fulsher and I'm assistant editor of The Lady.
Hello, I'm Vanessa Berridge and I write profiles and general features for the magazine.
OK, well, as you know, the rules are always the same. 10 points for starters, 15 for bonuses, 5-point penalties for incorrect interruptions to starter questions. Remember, you must answer. If you answer a starter question, you have to do it on your own with no conferring. So fingers on the buzzers. Here's your first starter for 10. Who's being described? Born Anne Frances Robbins in New York in 1921. She majored in drama at Smith College in Massachusetts and worked in Hollywood from 1949. Her films including Hellcats of the Navy in 1957, in which she starred with her husband, whom she had married...
Police Moran.
Catherine Hepburn?
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points, whom she had married 5 years previously. Anybody want to buzz from The Lady?
The Lady Byrne.
Jane Russell.
No, it's Nancy Reagan. Another starter question. Which 2 letters are used in text messaging to begin a question in the second person and are also the international vehicle registration for Burundi?
Police McCarron.
Are you?
Correct, yes. You're good on vehicle registrations in Burundi. Right, here are your bonuses. They're on rhododendrons. From the Greek meaning dry, what name is given to any species of the genus rhododendron, usually characterized by deciduous leaves and including the Ghent, Yogadawa and the torch?
Camellia.
No, it's the azalea. Established from specimens brought back from the Himalayan expeditions by Sir Joseph Hooker, the rhododendron dell is a feature of which gardens?
Kew Gardens.
That's right, the Royal Botanical Gardens. The coast rhododendron is the official flower of which of the United States? It was selected in 1892 by a ballot of the state's women, 18 years before the state granted women the vote.
Virginia.
No, it's Washington. Right, 10 points at stake for this. Which village in Galilee was the birthplace of the disciple Nathaniel, the site of Christ's healing of the daughter of Jairus, and the scene of his turning water into wine?
Police McCarron.
Cana.
Cana is right. So your bonuses are on the openings of novels. Firstly, for 5, you will rejoice to hear that no disaster has accompanied the commencement of an enterprise which you have regarded with such evil foreboding. Which novel opens with these words in a letter from the Arctic seafarer Robert Walton to his sister?
A Night to Remember?
No, it's Frankenstein. Which novel opens with a diary entry made on May the 3rd at Bistritz, in which the writer records his impressions of travelling east from Munich through Vienna to Budapest?
The Third Man.
No, it's Dracula. Which short novel opens with a fireside reading of a gruesome story, the writer noting, "I remember no comment uttered till somebody happened to say that it was the only case he had met in which such a visitation had fallen on a child."
The Exorcist.
No, it's The Turn of the Screw. 10 points for this starter question. Of which hydrocarbon is CH4 the chemical formula?
The Lady Toft.
Methane.
Correct, yes. Your first set of bonuses, The Lady, are on liquor licensing. Firstly, for 5, named after a Home Secretary in Gladstone's first ministry, the Aberdare Act, an early attempt to restrict opening hours, was passed in what year? You can have 2 years either way.
Try 1863.
No, it's 1872. Secondly, for 5, an Act of 1886 prohibited the sale of alcohol for consumption on the premises to persons under what age?
18.
No, it was 13, amazingly. And finally, for 5, give the exact year in which all-day opening on weekdays in England and Wales was reintroduced.
Yeah, which day? Which exact day?
Which year? Give the exact year in which all-day opening on weekdays.
1985?
That was 1988. Right, we're going to take a picture round now. Your picture starter is an image or in silhouette of one of the world's tallest buildings. 10 points if you can give me its name. You may not confer.
The Lady Fulshire.
It's Kuala Lumpur, the Twin Towers.
No, anybody want to buzz from the Metropolitan Police instructors?
Police Moran.
Is it the two towers in Kuala Lumpur?
It is in Kuala Lumpur. It's the Petronas Towers. So picture bonuses in a moment or two when someone gets to start a question right. 10 points for this. What flowers do these words describe? Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way.
The Lady Berridge.
Daffodils.
Indeed, from Wordsworth's poem. So you get the picture bonuses, 3 more images in silhouette of some of the world's tallest buildings, 5 points for each one you can identify correctly. Here's the first, completed in 1973.
Is that the next tower? We think it's the NatWest Tower.
No, it's the Sears Tower in Chicago. Secondly, for 5 points, completed 1998.
No. Sorry, don't know.
That's the Jin Mao Tower in Shanghai. And finally, this one, completed 1931.
Empire State Building.
Correct. Right, 10 points for this starter question. Morality is the herd instinct in the individual. These are the words of which German philosopher writing 1882?
Police McCarron.
Jung.
No, anybody want to buzz from the lady?
Lady Fulshire.
Nietzsche.
Nietzsche is correct, yes. Your bonuses are on scientific achievement. Who worked as a shipping clerk before studying medicine and made a noted discovery in 1928 when he accidentally left a culture dish of staphylococci uncovered?
Fleming.
Alexander Fleming's right. In 1904, Sir John Ambrose Fleming invented which device, the forerunner of the semiconductor diode, which only allows electric current to flow in one direction?
Don't know, sorry.
It's a thermionic valve. And thirdly for 5, the German biologist Walter Fleming discovered which method of cell division in which the chromosomes split lengthwise and move apart before the cell divides?
What? Meiosis?
No, it's mitosis. Another starter question. Noted for frescoes by Masaccio and Fra Filippo.
The Lady Berridge.
Brancaccia Chapel.
No, I'm afraid you're going to lose 5 points. Masaccio and Fra Filippo Lippi. The Church of Santa Maria della Carmine is in which Italian city? You may not confer. One of you may buzz from the police.
Police Moran.
Florence.
Florence is right. Your bonuses are on Shakespeare. They could take you back into the lead. Firstly for 5. What, according to Richard III, is but a word that cowards use, devised at first to keep the strong in awe?
Duty.
No, it's conscience. In a play of the same name, of which king does Suffolk say, his conscience has crept too near another lady?
I've just put out the king. Just put up the king. Henry V.
Henry V.
No, it's Henry VIII. Every subject's duty is the king's, but every subject's soul is his own. In which Shakespeare play do these words appear? Come on.
Try it.
Macbeth.
No, that was Henry V. 10 points for this starter question. The real first name of the film actress Rita Hayworth is believed by some to be the source of the name given to which concoction, consisting of...
Police McCarron.
Margarita.
Margarita is right, yes. That takes you into the lead. Your bonuses are on dog breeds. Firstly for 5, which breed was called a wire-haired pincher when it first appeared at a show in 1879, but took its new name, meaning muzzle or snout, from that of the competition winner?
Schnauzer.
Correct. The Apso originates in which former Asian country, where it was originally kept by monks and made available to the outside world as diplomatic gifts?
Tibet.
Tibet is right, with a name possibly originating from a Gaelic word for little. What breed was developed for hunting hare and is renowned for its bell-like voice and distinctive colouring?
Kerry Blue.
No, it's a beagle. Right, we're going to take a music round now. For your music starter, you'll hear an excerpt from the British Library's sound archive of garden bird song. 10 points if you can identify the species of bird you hear.
The Lady Toft.
Song thrush.
Anybody want to buzz from the police? You may not confer.
Police Moran.
Is that a blue tit?
No, it's not. It's a blackbird. I thought it was one of the most famous bird songs. Right, so music bonuses or sound bonuses in a moment or two. 10 points for this starter question. Who in 1929 announced the law that the speed of recession of galaxies is proportional to their distance from an observer?
Police Farmery.
Einstein.
Nope. Anybody want to buzz
The
from
Lady Toft.
Hubble.
Hubble is right, yes. So 3 more recordings of common British birds from the same archive. 5 points for each species you can identify. Here's the first. You don't need to buzz, you can confer.
Robin?
Robin is correct, yes. Here's the second for 5 points.
Great tit.
It is a great tit, yes. And finally,
It's a jay, isn't it? Magpie.
it is a magpie, yes. So you've taken the lead. And 10 points for this starter question. Which city, the capital of Limburg province in southeastern Netherlands, gives its name to a treaty agreed in December 1991 by the member...
Police Hughes.
Utrecht.
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points by the member states of the European Community.
The Lady Berridge.
Maastricht.
Maastricht is right. Your bonuses are on a screen icon. Firstly, for 5, of which actor, born 1931, did Elia Kazan say he was a hero to the people who saw him only as a little waif, when actually he was a pudding of hatred?
Marlon Brando.
No, it was James Dean. Quote, Jackie is just speeding away, thought she was James Dean for a day, then I guess she had to crash. Valium would have helped that bash. What does the songwriter exhort his listeners to do next?
Walk on the Wild Side.
Correct, by Lou Reed. Finally, for 5 points, winner of events in Italy and France in 1950 and 51. The Swiss Hugo Koblet was known as the James Dean of which sport?
Cycling.
That's correct. 10 points for this starter question. Which decade saw the publication of Mary Wollstonecraft's Vindication of the Rights of Women, the deaths of Mozart and Edward Gibbon, and the abolition of
The Lady Berridge.
1790s.
Correct, yes. Your bonuses are on plants associated with Christmas. For each scientific name, I would like the common name. Firstly, Ilex aquifolium.
A holly.
Correct. Secondly, Viscum album.
Mistletoe.
Correct. And finally, Helleborus niger.
Christmas rose.
Christmas rose is right. You're good on these outdoor things. Right, 10 points for this. What name is given in dentistry to tartar on teeth, in medicine to a kidney stone, and in mathematics to a method of calculation?
Police McCarron.
Calculus.
Correct. Here are your bonuses. They're on fictional hedgehogs. Firstly, for 5, knowledgeable about affairs on Nutwood Common, Horace the Hedgehog is a friend of which illustrated children's character who first appeared in 1920?
Rupert the Bear.
It is indeed, yes, in a sporting activity ordered by the Queen of Hearts. For what purpose are live hedgehogs used in Chapter 8 of Alice in Wonderland?
Croquet balls.
Correct. In an illustrated children's work of 1905, which hedgehog described herself as an excellent clear starcher?
Yeah.
Mrs. Tiggy Winkle.
It is indeed Mrs. Tiggy Winkle. I've never seen such uniform conferring on such an important subject. 10 points for this. Which opera company's Sunday morning performance of the Valkyrie with Kathleen Broderick as Brunhilde was considered a highlight of the 2004 Glastonbury Festival?
The Lady Berridge.
E&O.
Correct. Here are your bonuses. They're on Ordnance Survey maps. Firstly for 5. By 1874, following a commission by the Master of Ordnance, the first series of which scale of Ordnance Survey maps of Great Britain was published?
1 inch to the mile.
Correct. What number designated the series of 1 inch to 1 mile maps, the publication of which was finalised by 1961 and constituted the most complete mapping of Great Britain at that time?
Land Ranger.
No, they were the 7th series. The first series of metric Ordnance Survey maps to the scale 1 to 50,000 were published between 1974 and 76 and were then subsequently replaced by which series?
Land Ranger.
That was the Land Ranger series. Right, we're going to take our second picture round now. For your picture starter, you're going to see a photograph of a cup awarded in a particular sport. 10 points if you can give me the name of the cup.
Police Farmery.
The Admiral's Cup.
No, anybody want to buzz from the lady? No, I'll tell you.
The Lady Berridge.
America's Cup.
No, it's the Stanley Cup in ice hockey, so we'll picture bonuses in a moment or two. 10 points for this starter question. Which event, which took place on June the 15th, 1215, is
The Lady Berridge.
Magna Carta.
the signing of the Magna Carta, surprisingly omitted from Shakespeare's Life and Death of King John, and your bonuses are on photographs of cups representing various sports. 5 points for each correctly named cup. Here's the first.
What's it called? It's at Wimbledon, but what is it? Davis Cup?
No, our team of blokes would have got it. I tell you, it's the FA Cup. Secondly,
Any ideas? No. Sorry, don't know.
that's the America's Cup. And finally,
Ryder Cup?
that is the Ryder Cup, yes. Right, 10 points for this starter question. Which guerrilla leader was born in Argentina in 1928?
Police McCarron.
Che Guevara.
Correct, yes. Your bonuses are on motoring. Firstly for 5, drivers wish for better roads and less congestion, but are unprepared to make personal sacrifices by reducing the amount they use their car. These words appear in a 2004 report on motoring by which organisation? Come on.
Greenpeace.
No, it's the RAC. The report found that 92% of drivers describe themselves as law-abiding. What percentage of drivers admitted they exceeded the speed limit on most days? And I can give you 10% either way.
65.
You do have a low opinion of human nature in the police, don't you? No, it's 46%. And finally for 5, according to the report's summary, out of 10 motorists, how many claim they, quote, could not cope without their four-wheeled friend? Come on.
8.
8 is correct. 5 minutes to go, 10 points for this. What word links a former gold coin, a light sponge cake, an obliging person, the hallucinogen, PCP, and the financial backer of a theatre?
The Lady Byrne.
Angel.
Angel is right, yes. Your bonuses are on modern dance. Born in Indiana in 1941 and having studied with Martha Graham and Merce Cunningham, which dancer and choreographer founded her own troupe in 1965, achieving both popular appeal and critical acclaim, and became the resident choreographer with the American Ballet Theatre in 1988.
No, he said no. Any ideas? No. No, sorry.
That was Twyla Tharp. Twyla Tharp's 1976 production with the American Ballet Theatre was Push Comes to Shove, a showcase for which Soviet-born classical ballet dancer who defected to Canada 2 years earlier. Defected in Canada 2 years earlier.
Baryshnikov?
It was, yes. Which Scottish-born musician whose group spearheaded New York's new wave of the late 1970s wrote the score for Tharp's 1981 ballet, The Catherine Wheel?
James Macmillan?
No, it was David Byrne of Talking Heads. 10 points for this. Which ballet movement, where weight is transferred from one foot, which slides outward from the body, to the other, which is then brought to meet it, has a name derived from the French for slipped or slide?
The Lady Byrne.
Glisse.
Glisse.
Glissade. Ooh.
I'll accept It's close enough. It's glissade or glissade. Right, 10 points for this. 3 questions on world organisations. 15 points for this, sorry. Who was the first chairman of the African Union, founded in July 2002 as the successor to the Organisation of African Unity?
Nelson Mandela and Becky. Nelson Mandela? Who?
Come on.
Nelson Mandela.
It was Thabo Mbeki. For what do the initials UPU stand when referring to one of the smallest of the United Nations specialised agencies, established 1874 and with its headquarters in Bern?
United something, some quarter. What? Sorry, don't know.
It's the Universal Postal Union. And finally, Greenpeace is a network of national and regional offices coordinated from its headquarters in which European city?
Geneva?
No, it's Amsterdam. 10 points for this starter question. The Turner Prize winner Jeremy Deller is noted for the 2001 reenactment of which event of the 1984 miners' strike?
Police Hughes.
The Battle of Orgreave.
Correct. You get a set of bonuses on failed Mars missions. The Beagle 2 failed to make contact after its landing on Mars on Christmas Day 2003. From what spacecraft was it launched into the Martian atmosphere?
Voyager.
And it was the Mars Express. What name meaning hope was given to the Japanese spacecraft launched 1998, which failed to achieve a Mars orbit on December the 9th, 2003, and is now in an orbit around the Sun?
Sorry, don't know.
That's Nozomi. NASA lost its $125 million Mars climate orbiter due to a confusion over which 2 systems?
Decimal and they got it wrong. Between centimetres and inches.
Metric and imperial.
That is correct. A minute and a half to go, 10 points for this. In Italian art, the word Quattrocento refers to which century of the Common Era?
The Lady Byrne.
400.
No.
Police Farmery.
1400s.
1400s, the 15th century is correct, so you get a set of bonuses on names in sport. Firstly, for 5. Between 1968 and 2001, 3 Grand National winning horses have had which 3-letter word as the first part of their name?
Red.
Correct. Golf's US Open was won in 1975 by an American called Lou and in 1981 by an Australian called David. What surname did they share?
No, Stocks, not Stocks. No, we've got Graham.
Graham.
Correct. What surname was shared by 2 members of England's Euro 2004 squad, one wearing the number 3 shirt, the other the number 19?
Cole.
Cole is right. 10 points for this. A back form from a noted site in Wiltshire. What term is used in archaeology to denote a flat area surrounded by a bank and ditch, sometimes found with megaliths?
The Lady Berridge.
A barrier?
No, anybody want to buzz from the Metropolitan Police?
Police Farmery.
A henge.
Henge is correct. Yes, your bonuses are on a writer. Firstly for 5. And at the gong, the Metropolitan Police instructors have 135. The lady have 165. Well, bad luck, you police instructors. Had the cards fallen a little differently, you might have done better. You were very good on sport, though, I thought, particularly. Thank you very much for joining us. And the lady, you got off to a very shaky start, but stormed back, and we might well see you coming back into the semi-finals as one of the highest-scoring teams. So I hope we do. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you can join us next time. But until then, it's goodbye from the Metropolitan Police instructors.
Evening all.
It's goodbye from the lady.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.
Well, you don't get that on Mastermind, do you? The Harrier jump jet and rock giants The Who are among the specialist subjects tomorrow at 8 here on BBC Two.